Hey everybody, it's Amelia, and it's just Tuesday, so it's not like an update day or anything. I got bad hair today. I'm cleaning house. Not that you can tell from all the junk over on the floor, or, well, that's always junky, so it's whatever. In my last update video, I talked about how I was like, I went to go tell you guys something, and then I went, oh, that's a surprise. I can't do that. That's a secret. And so this is the video to explain what that secret was. Early last week, I finally got a phone call telling me that my whole family was throwing a surprise birthday party for my grandma. And I guess they'd been knowing about it for quite a while, but they didn't, I guess someone thought maybe, oh, Amelia lives in South Carolina. There's no way she'll come all the way to Ohio. We'll just kind of mention it to her when it's happening. So I don't know what happened. Crossed wires, whatever. But I found out they were having this party, and I had to kind of scramble at the last second to get off from work and also get my husband off from work, and I had to get everything together. So when I made my video last week on Thursday, I knew that I was going to Ohio, but everybody was going to come in from all over. My dad was going to fly in from DC. I was coming from South Carolina. She still has a brother that's still alive. He came from somewhere out in the middle of somewhere, and I mean, just everybody from all directions came together for the party. And I knew that my father was going to be there, and I kind of played around I wasn't sure if I could go, but then when I knew for sure, I didn't let him know that I was coming. So it was like Grandma was getting a surprise party, my dad was going to get a surprise that I was going to be there, and it was going to be really cool. But I got to talking to some of my relatives. Well, just one. I talked to my Aunt Joyce, and I was like, well, you gotta get to see me skinny. And she went, what, are you going to leave some of you behind, or, I mean, what? And I was like, I had a surgery, right, 3.5 months ago, and I've lost 85 pounds. Actually, yeah, 85.8 by today, and she was like, no. And I realized that even though I had told my dad and then told my grandmother that it was okay to tell people, nobody got told. So I realized that when I showed up to Ohio for the party, everybody in the family would be seeing me for the first time too, and they didn't know that I lost all the weight, which made for a lot of fun, I'll tell you that, at this party. So we drove up Friday to Kentucky, and I stayed with my Aunt Luana, and then the next morning, Friday morning, we drove to the church where they were having the party, and it was really, really cool. And they told my grandmother that she was going to Olive Garden, but they needed to just drop in real quick on my aunt. My aunt wanted to drop in on her husband, who's working on some cantata that's in March. And so Grandma walked in the door, and everybody just starts singing at her. And I have this on video, and it is a hoot. She just walks in the door, and she's just like, I mean, and at first she thought that my aunt had just had some people from the church sing at her, and then she started kind of looking around at us, and she was like, oh wait, I know these people. It was pretty funny. And she actually said she saw me, but because I'd called her that morning and told her that I was on my way to work, I was just like, oh, I wanted to tell you happy birthday before I go to work. She said she saw me, but she really didn't think, and also since last time she saw me, I was much bigger. She was like, that can't be, well, everybody in my family calls me Amy, but don't y'all start calling me Amy. So she's like, I can't believe that. I didn't think that was Amy. So that was fun. But I showed up, and the handful of people that actually knew that I had this surgery were still pretty shocked how much I'd lost. And the people who didn't know were just like, you look really good. And it was just like, yeah, I lost a lot of weight, just to kind of take the little edge off the situation, so they didn't have to feel like going, wow, you were really big, and now you're you know, you're normal sized. And this is the part that really blows my mind. I mean, I know I've lost weight. I know that. I know that. But in my mind, I'm still a big girl. I really am. I mean, to me, I'm still, you know, I'm in the double digits still. I mean, I'm almost into a 14. I can get into some 14s. But I looked around, and all the people that I've really considered skinny my whole life, and they still look skinny to me. They look totally skinny to me. Like my Aunt Debbie and my grandma and all my relatives. Like, my smallest relative's like a size 12. And they look skinny to me. They don't look overweight at all. And just the realization that I'm like 1 or 2 sizes away from the relatives that I consider very skinny is just like mind-blowing. And it's really funny, like all this time I've had a little bit of like not feeling the difference of my weight really. I mean, like I can see it in videos and I can look at my screen and see it. But seeing myself through their eyes and in comparison to them, because I got pictures of me with my relatives, I don't stand out anymore. I'm not the fat blob next to the skinny sticks. I'm just one of the people in the picture. And it's just, it's funny. I've come back from this trip feeling smaller and actually having more of a reference point for the size that I really am. So that's all that's all I want to say about that. But oh, this is the exciting part. My grandmother has been keeping a diary since 1959, and actually before that too. She wrote, Dad started like 6 years ago getting these transcribed over, and been collecting them and fixing the format on them. And as a surprise, my father had her diary published. Now, my grandmother doesn't write flowery, like, "My darling, in the days of the sunny days of fall, we spent the days lingering," and it's like, no. My grandmother, I mean, kind of writes like an engineer. I mean, like, it was really kind of funny. It's like, canned beans today, worked on the house, my kid had a kid, it's my first grandchild. Like really just plain to the point. It's kind of cool. It's like she just writes what happens and she doesn't judge it. So like, we have the entire family history back to 1959 now published in this book, and it is single line print, 8.5 by 11 8.5 by 11 sized sheets, 426 pages of our entire family history, just from a non-judgmental, just straight up, this is what happened on this day. I mean, like, the day I was born is actually kind of huge. It's just like, and Tony called and said Amelia was born. And it was just like, that was it. That was the whole thing. And it was pretty funny. So my dad presented her with her published book, and he's ordered one for all the his brothers and sisters, and for my brother and for me, and my Uncle Jim, who I found out was a famous race car driver, like the Pontiac Man. I don't know if y'all know who that is. I have a celebrity in my family. Pretty cool. Yeah, so I got to see myself through my family's eyes, and that's very favorable. And maybe I'll show you I have a video of my dad presenting the book to my grandmother. I have a video of her walking in on her surprise party. It's a hoot. And yeah, maybe I'll show you some pictures of me with my cousins. And I mean, normally it's like me, them, like me, like this is me and this is my cousins, and now it's like me and them. I mean, like, even my skinniest cousin I didn't look that big next to, really. I mean, it was pretty cool. And so fun. Now I've talked a bunch, but hope everybody has a great day, and be kind to yourself. And let's try to be like my grandma and not judge. She's a great lady. you guys take care. I also got to see my little sister. So CJ, if you're watching this, hi CJ. My dad called me and told me that she said she must love me because she took a lot of pictures of me. Because I did. I took a lot of pictures of her. And I just think that's so cute. Anyway, my sister's 7. That's pretty cool. And that's it. All right. Bye.